what do you get when you cross a know-it-all newspaper columnist with an awkward, unsophisticated everyman?
Yeah. Well, I'm just not sure about that right now.
Welcome to Couch and the Rube.
Welcome to Couch and the Rube, our Monday afternoon show presented by our friends at Muskox Quality Flannels. It is football season. It is muskox season. I am back in the muskox flannel full time. My wife's no longer embarrassed to be near me. Even a hideous man like myself can look presentable. You can look your very best self and be comfortable at an MSU football game, whatever tailgate you may want to be at, wherever you are, in a muskox flannel, whether it's you're in a house that's 60 degrees, whether you're at a 45-degree game at 10 at night. It's perfect. It's perfect. Look like I do, or better than me, with a muskox flannel. Go to gomuskox.com, where Couch and the Rube listeners can get $15 off a muskox flannel with the promo code Peacock. Gomuskox.com. Peacock. Jason, how you doing, brother?
Peacock.
Go out there, play hard, stick your cleats so far up their asses that they've got to use the cleats to brush their teeth with.
What's up, buddy? What do you got going on over there? You got two laptops? Is that R key? Are you using one laptop just for the R key, or what?
Yeah,
like, you look like you're really important over there. If you're watching on YouTube, Couch has two laptops going on.
I have a MacBook that doesn't work with the R key, so I'm using the paperweight, also known as a Dell, for other things. And
I just look over. We were getting ready for the show. I look over, and Couch is just like slamming the table. He's all like throwing his hands up. I'm like, is he all right? What's going on here?
It's fine.
His favorite team won over the weekend, the Michigan State Spartans. By the way, did you see Chad Latz getting a J-Bat? Chad Latz getting a one-on-one with J-Bat before Graham Couch? That's pretty wild.
It's pretty.
Did you see that? I couldn't tell what's AI anymore.
No, I think it's real. I
understand. Video. I think the picture was, but there was some video of Latz.
I think he meant to take a picture and it was on video.
That makes sense.
That
checks out.
Yep. So that's what I think happened.
But was he going around and he was shaking hands with everybody, right? Like, how did Latz get a one-on-one? I figured there would be people crowding J-Bat, asking questions.
Well, I think he walks around and
kisses babies, shakes hands. That's right. That's smart.
And, you see Latz.
You got to get your face out there.
And you got to have a conversation when you see Latz.
Concessions were an abomination the last week, so you got to get out there and apologize to people. I was reading about that. My God, that was embarrassing.
People were happier this week with the concessions. That is the...
If you were running a concession stand, let's just say for like a high school game, and all of a sudden the food wasn't ready and you're about to let 50,000 people into your high school football game, right? A little panicky. I'm just saying. It's pretty wild. I'd be like, all right, I think we're going to have some hot dogs ready for these people.
They contracted it out to a company that does this, though. So it wasn't like this was some church group sitting there going,
worse.
Oh, my God,
I know. I'm just trying to make it a smaller version of it, because it's pretty obvious that you're going to need to have food ready for a shit ton of people and be able to serve booze. But anyway, I don't know. I'm starting off with that.
Yeah,
I'm just a depressed Lions fan. I wanted to do this show last night.
We should have. It would have been easier.
It would have been the last show, though.
We should have done it.
Yeah.
We should have done it last night.
Yeah.
Would have been better.
I was going to text you, but then.
Yeah. Next time, do so.
Anyway. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
I will say that this is going to be a good show. We have a lot of hot takes and a lot of...
Couch wasn't prepared for 150 hot takes.
We are going to have to restructure some things in football season. I forgot what
Should we just have a hotline?
Like, because we can't get to all of them. And
should we play like an audio hotline? Would that be bad? We can't take phone calls. That would be ridiculous.
No, we don't want that.
Impossible.
We don't want that. If some of our listeners speak the way they write, we don't want them on the hotline. No offense to you guys.
No offense. Thank you for producing our show. Now you're shit. Get it together.
We're gonna have to go back down to like the one take and maybe a bonus take and try to keep it pithy because it was a lot today. But
yeah,
well, you guys care and you guys.
It's tough to be critical of the listeners.
I'm not going to be critical of the listeners. I'm not.
It's more a criticism on you not being prepared for first week of NFL. Michigan State wins in OT, and Couch is just baffled that we're getting a ton of people.
What?
It's a nice thing. It's a good thing.
It's an amazing thing. I'm not. This has nothing to do with preparedness. This has something to do with hours we have to do a show, and it's just not. It is what it is. So, with that said, do you want to, before we get in our takes, do you want to? If
you'd like to get in the Michigan State thing, I know you post this in a Tom Izzo Facebook group, so they probably don't want to hear my Lions tangent. I mean, it's really not a tangent.
Lions
It's week.
People have been
it's
waiting
week
for it.
one. I just am so sick of people telling me how you're supposed to just sit back and watch that game yesterday as a 46-year-old fucking guy wearing a Brian Branch jersey, a jersey of a 23-year-old guy who's a badass, by the way. Stupid penalty, but he's a badass. But you know what I mean? And now I'm sitting there, and now I can't criticize. Anzalone, he's sitting there, and he played well yesterday. I thought he was all right. PFF graded out okay. But, I mean, it's just sitting there. You can't criticize how bad the lack of pass rush was an abomination. And Kelvin Shepard, I know it's just one game. And the Packers, I don't even know if the Packers D did look good. Other than that, I don't know if the Packers are the scariest team ever. But I just was really concerned with Kelvin Shepard and why is Aiden Hutchinson, a guy that we can't get any pressure on the quarterback, is dropping back into coverage on a tight end on a third down on defense. What are we doing here? And with Jared Goff, if this offensive line, I mean, Glasgow is fucking terrible. But here's the thing. We knew this. What happened yesterday, the fan base, we were like, wow, I think we're going in. We're standing pat with our guys. Is this a good thing? Glasgow, I mean, anybody, we knew that hasn't been good in years. And we're going to sit there and then throw a rookie in next to him at tackle.
And hold on. Jared Goff doesn't get a say. Jared Goff's getting paid like a top 5 quarterback, and he's a top 15 quarterback.
He can't be on the move. I'm scared of Jared Goff.
He doesn't get a say. He has to be perfect no matter who. You and I can be blocking for him. You want to make $55 million a year, you get what you get, and you got to be great.
Sure.
You're paid to be great. You don't get a say. You don't get to complain. You better be great no matter who's in front of you.
I'm understanding that. I'm just saying, but there's things that he's limited to. As much as he wants to be great and has to be great, if everything breaks down around him, he's not like the guys you saw last night, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, that can hop on their feet and get out of situations. When Jared Goff does that shoulder turn to his blind side, I'm just like, every time it makes my balls cringe. I'm like, I can't handle it. But here's the thing. I'm not going to overreact to that Green Bay game. I'm not off the bandwagon. I mean, it was terrible. How else are we supposed to discuss that fucking game yesterday? We have to talk about it. It was an abomination. They gave up. They sat there and ran on 3rd and 16. And why were the starters in after they're down 3 scores? There's no reason to have Goff or Gibbs or any of those guys in there if you're going to sit there and give up in the third quarter. Why are they in there doing all this stuff in the fourth quarter in time that it didn't even matter? But here's the thing, Graham. Play the Bears this weekend. The Bears have a short week. The Bears play tonight. The Lions are 10-0 against the spread in the games following a loss. So if this happens, and it's at home, so if this happens again and we reconvene on Monday, then we can start panicking. Because I'm already panicking a little bit because Kelvin Shepard, I don't know what he was doing. Right? So is the sky falling? No, but it doesn't look great right now. It was such an uninspired.
That's it. Okay, stop right there.
Yeah.
Because you're all over the place.
Yeah. That's what I do. That's my takes.
Okay.
And then you pick out of that what you need.
Okay, so I want to start there. I think the concern was that for the first time in a while, the Lions looked like an uninspired side. They looked like
Game
a side.
one?
They look like that's the problem, right? They look like they ran into a team that was just waiting for this moment, and they had all the momentum and energy. And
we gave it to them. We shot ourselves in the foot, though. I don't think if we would have lost 27-24, I would have been okay with that. I would have come in here and been a completely different person. You know what? That's a tough game one. It sucks we lost at Lambeau. Green Bay seems like they're a good team, but we just kept shooting ourselves in the friggin' foot.
The good news is for the Lions is they have the Bears next week, and I think they're better than the Bears at home. The bad news for the Lions is
how do you know?
They have to win that game because after that,
I'll see the Bears tonight. We'll see.
Yeah. They have to win that game. It was a disheartening start. It was all the concerns wrapped up into one. But it's also just week one. And I think that the Lions have earned the right for people not to panic.
Yeah, but I don't want to hear that it's just week one. I don't care if it's week 1 or week 16, 15, fucking whatever. You show up uninspired like that, I have a problem with that. That's the problem I have. I get it. We're going to lose games this year.
The good news is most people didn't see the first half because it was up against Alcaraz Center and the U.S.
It was
Open
on
final.
my third TV.
And the Lions were, yeah.
By the way, we were like a Boston College overtime victory away from this being the worst show of all time. I mean, we'll get to the Tigers, but holy hell, between them, the Lions, and if Michigan State would have lost that in OT.
It still might be the worst show of all time. I wouldn't, No.
I mean, the quality of show's ass. But I'm saying of just having to deal with and all this stuff, and, But thank you, Michigan State. But,
By the way, that Alcaraz Center was going to be the most entertaining thing I saw this weekend presented by Xfinity until that Buffalo Baltimore game Sunday night was incredible.
I was in bed.
That was You didn't see it?
No.
See the
And by the way, USC at 11 p.m.
Yeah.
That was just announced too.
Michigan
USC.
Okay, so people,
Come on, man.
It's like talking to my mother here.
Oh,
Jesus.
I'm sorry. I'm fired up
all
here.
over the place.
You brought up Michigan State. I didn't.
Right. Okay.
Or maybe I did.
You didn't bring up Michigan State. You just said 11 p.m.
I did
USC.
bring up Michigan
That's
State,
like my
didn't I?
mother telling a story. This is like you don't give the characters and then you give the plot, and it's confusing.
Listen, I'm fired up here. I'm sick of people telling me that we have to be patient and all this bullshit. The Tigers rebuild, the Lions. It's like, yo, be patient. What are you doing after one game? You can't jump. I can, because guess what? There's not another fucking game till Sunday, so I have to do something. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Got to get you some MGs here. Michigan
I'd like
State-
to, but you like doing shows on Monday at a goddamn 1:30, so I can't do any MGs.
I'm up for Sunday nights. You holler at me anytime you want to
Sunday nights. If you think there's MGs flowing, holy
That's
hell.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right, Michigan State football, 11 p.m. The USC game on the road. That is just.
If there's any cocaine dealers out there, hit me up. I'm gonna need some.
That is.
It's not a problem. I just need it on the 20th.
That is incredible. That is
not
incredible.
a reoccurring thing.
Yeah,
one time cocaine buy.
That's incredible. But yeah, no, that game was by far the most entertaining thing I saw this weekend.
It was not. It wasn't though.
Well,
you're just bringing tennis into this.
I'm talking about the Bills Ravens
Oh
game
shit! Yeah, that was a good game.
that you slept through. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Jesus.
I'm telling you, this game ruined my friggin' day. Yesterday,
I'm trying
I
to do
just
a
don't know-
live read, and I can't even get it in.
I'm sorry.
I can't
All
even
right,
get it in.
pulling
I
a
will do the
Solari.
live read later. We'll come to the live read
I
later.
listened to
It's been
Spartan
more-
speak, and Solari inspired
Yeah.
me.
All right. Let's
Graham.
Let's get this on the rails and talk some Michigan State football for a minute. I think the Michigan State win was the most important win for MSU, maybe since Penn State 2021. Like it was that big a swing game, and the Penn State game was a different type of game. They'd had this great year, and they'd sort of fallen off for a few weeks, and they sort of recalibrated, and it felt like a really big event. There will be bigger games than this. There will be more important, but this felt like a big game. This felt like a swing game in the season. The mood today, can you imagine? I mean, the way you feel about the Lions, and the way a lot of people. I mean, the mood today would have been so dire, and you would have had this 2-week build up to USC, who looks like they could be a tough team, and a game that you feel like you got to win one of these. Now you're 2-0. You're going to be 3-0 because Youngstown State's not really a competitive team at the same level. You're going to go to USC, and it's going to feel like an opportunity. Same for Nebraska. And it's not that you don't need to win some of these games this year, because outside of Penn State, maybe every game on the schedule is winnable. And Penn State at Spartan Stadium, there's a pretty good track record of competitive games for Michigan State there too. So there's going to be a chance in a lot of these games. I think the most promising thing that came out of this game in terms of that was the way they executed down the stretch offensively, because you're going to be in a ton of games that are decided close. You're going to be on the road at USC. You're going to be on the road at Nebraska. You got Indiana on the road shortly after that, Michigan, obviously. And if you're going to win those games, you're going to need that version of Aiden Childs that you saw in overtime, where he's checking the right plays, where he's making the right throws, where he's accurate on a 2-point conversion when the guy's running away from him. You're going to need the version you saw throughout the second half offensively from Brian Lindgren. You're going to need that version of the offense. The defense, I have some sympathy for the defense in this sense. I think that Lonergan, the quarterback from BC,
Heisman candidate.
Like what I saw from him and what I saw from that offense from Bill O'Brien and Boston College was the best sort of quick passing counter to what they were running defensively I'd seen since Kalen DeBoer and Indiana and a young Michael Penix in 2019, where that Michigan State had this defense that was like everywhere they wanted to go, there was like an immediate counter for it. It felt like that. Now, this defense may be just so flawed that it's easier to do that against them, and we'll find that out. But I also think we're going to find out.
Could go either way.
I think we're going to find out this is a pretty good quarterback, maybe as good a quarterback as they're going to face all year.
Really? Okay.
I just think that he just looked really good to me. Now, if Michigan State goes out and gets torched by the Youngstown State quarterback and wins a shootout there because they can't defend that guy, or they get, it really goes badly at USC and Nebraska and week after week defensively, we may find out otherwise. But just there were some signs that they've got a pretty good deal going. That doesn't mean what MSU has defensively is adequate to be in contention. they have some real problems getting to the quarterback. They did not pressure him enough.
About to say, I'm looking at the sack here.
It's a problem. And
zeros everywhere.
And it's a problem we thought could be there coming into the season, and so far it looks like a problem again. There are some things that look okay. They were better in the second half than in the first half. I think they tackle pretty well in space for a team, which is good. I think they stop the run pretty well for a team. So those are all things they'll have to lean on. But they're not going to be great, because if a great defense can get to the quarterback, and a quarterback who's well protected is always going to look better than one that's not. And so I think that's just an issue. Offensively, though, there are some things you really have to like. Number one, Childs playing his best game at Michigan State. And Childs is a guy that until this point had been sort of more tantalizing than productive. And then you get Nick Marsh, and I think this was a big moment at halftime, literally saying, "Give me the damn ball." Which,
good for him.
Absolutely, because he is one of these.
It's a shame he has to say it.
It is. It's a special talent who ought to be featured, and great coordinators know how to feature these guys. And they have enough weapons that it shouldn't just be him, and you should be able to take advantage of attention on him. But Omari Kelly is a really good player, a fantastic college football player. May get a cup of tea in the NFL. Who knows? I don't know. Nick Marsh is a guy that there just aren't that many of them in the college game. There aren't that many of those guys in football, and you put the ball in his hands, and good things are going to happen just about every time. That guy needs to have – I know he had quite a few targets. I think he had like 12, 14, somewhere around there. Caught 5 passes. But he's a guy that needs to be featured and moved around and a bigger part of what you're doing. And so I'm glad, because immediately in the second half, they get aggressive, and you see the results. And
I'm glad we withheld all those plays against Western in that second half. It was smart.
It's a big win. It's a promising win. It's not a flawless win, but it's a win that's a mood-changing win. It's a program win.
It's a positive for the offense, but as defense, not getting any.
It's a positive overall.
Not getting any sacks, and I know Lonergan. He plays Stanford next week, so it's not like we can see next week. I know it's on the road, but Stanford's garbage. Stanford, that is. Right.
In a season,
with 390 and 4 TDs.
In a season that's going to have 8 or 9 toss-up games, you won the first one.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal. And it's a massive deal. And
but there was those moments that we talked about that we were going to need from Childs, and I think he did show some of those wow moments with his feet.
He delivered
and arms sometimes, but like you saw those moments, you're like, aha.
And it was the
big time moment, right?
It was checking into a running play that led to a Mekhi Frazier 13-yard run in overtime. Like that's a really good, smart play by him. And he was, and sometimes he's not as accurate as he needs to be, and he was more accurate, and he was accurate deep. And he's got some playmakers who can make up for some stuff when he's not perfectly on point. But you got to use those guys, and they finally did in the second half. The running game was there again, which I think is a positive. When you get Mekhi Frazier averaging 4.6, 4.8 yards a carry again, like that looks like it's something they're going to be able to lean on to some extent. Now again, we don't know exactly what Boston College is. You find more out as the season goes along. I wish this week wasn't happening the way it is. I know people enjoy the exhale. It's they're 2-0 and all that stuff.
Let's pad some stats.
But Youngstown State's a waste of time. Just a freaking waste of time. They need to stop playing these games. It was one thing back when these teams had, 63 scholarships, and Michigan State had 85. But they had some pros, because what they had that the big schools didn't have was an immediate transfer portal. You could go there and play right away. So they get some guys on some of these teams that were special talents that didn't want to sit out or have been in some trouble somewhere or whatever. You're seeing a lot less of that. And Youngstown State's not the program they once were 20 years ago or whatever. I'd like to see this sort of game go away. It's sort of a waste of time this week. But better to waste time 2-0 than to do
what
it
opponent
at
would you
1-1.
Replace them? I mean,
another MAC school. Yeah. Just play.
So would that be competitive either? I
mean, much more than this. At least you're playing 85 scholarships. This will be ugly. It's a waste of time.
But it'll be fun.
Will it?
Yeah. Tailgating should be fun,
The experience.
The weather seems like it's going to be good.
Yeah, wearing your Muscats
nice little
flannel.
blowout. 3-0. You'll go home 3-0.
Yeah. It will not be as entertaining as 42-40, which I will call that then the most entertaining thing I saw presented by our friends at Xfinity and Comcast. Go to Xfinity.com today. Type in your address. See what offers are there for you. Chances are, I'm over to Buddy's house yesterday, and we're just talking about all the different things we're paying for, streaming services, this, what you can do. And the best deal you're usually going to find is at Xfinity. They'll put it all together for you. Chances you can get Peacock as part of that package. so you can see the MSU games, the Premier League soccer, whatever it is you want there. You can get FanDuel TV with the Tigers and Pistons and other things, part of your package if you want through Xfinity. All that's there. Go to Xfinity.com today. Make sure you're getting the games you want at the price that you can afford. Xfinity.com. Do you have another take?
Buenos tardes. It is time for the Detroit Tigers Gambling Update with Gramanito Couch and Jason Nick.
Well, if we're going to talk about the shit show from the Lions, we have to talk about the Tigers, who are also a shit show, losing to the White Sox yesterday. Losing 9 out of their last 13. What do we make of this team? Like everybody I talk to that I respect with a baseball mind. I'm speaking to Jeff Ewart. Jeff Ewart knows ball. Even he doesn't know. He's like, I don't think they're going to beat anybody in the playoffs. I've never seen anything like it, where you look at the standings and your team is in first place in the Central. They have one of the best records in not only the AL, but in Major League Baseball. And yet I'm like depressed by them on a consistent basis. And the season's almost over. And we have the Yankees on the road and the Marlins, the next 6. What are we supposed to? Is it the weirdest team you've ever had to root for? Like, it just feels so fucking weird. I should be excited about this team, excited about the playoffs, but I'm not. I'm just like, this team looks like shit. You can't lose games like this to the White Sox. I don't care if they've been hitting better than their last 10 or anything like that. It's just an absolute bummer to have a team with a great record. We want baseball, quality baseball at this time of year.
I don't care that they're losing to the White Sox. I care how they're losing. Because the best team again loses 60 games and the worst team wins 60. And
you lose the series to the White. This is not just one game.
Correct. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But we're just not built as a society to react well to baseball. The problem is that you
can't react to football better either. I just say a word sound.
This is more coherent at least. Yeah, but
I'm just going to say whatever I feel, and you figure it out.
When you have Morton and Flaherty, you basically have the same picture right now, where it's like, is it going to be great? Is it going to be awful? I think that's the only hope for the postseason, is that you wind up with one of the top 2 seeds, and then that allows you to pick 2 school days in a 5-game series, because you're going to have, what do they have, 4 days off between each game or something like that in the bullshit postseason, and then beyond that, you got to get one great game out of Morton and Flaherty, and maybe you do. And the other thing you're going to do is you're going to use Melton, or you're going to use somebody.
Don't forget about Mize. I know you like
that's
to
fine.
forget about
Maybe
Mize.
you get a good Mize. What I mean is, if somebody struggles, you're not going to let them pitch 6 innings. You fall behind 3-0, those guys are gone in the postseason, right? So it gives you a chance to stay in games. You didn't think they were going to beat the Astros last year. We didn't see that coming. Certainly the 06 shitty-ass Cardinals that won the World Series are evidence that can be done, and you can absolutely suck and win a World Series.
I need to talk to Cardinals fans. Were you feeling the same way in 06 with that team, where you're just like, but that team, what was their record? Did they win their division?
83 wins. 83 wins.
83 wins, okay.
Yeah, shouldn't even be in the postseason.
It's just a weird feeling, right? Because baseball, like you said, it's hard to react to these kind of things because baseball can get wonky with this. But if you're sitting there, ending the season, you can't lose these games to lose a series to the White Sox. Yeah. It's just, yeah.
If they bow out quickly in the postseason, and it looks in the postseason like it did in the regular season, I will be very curious to see this offseason, because you can't run this back. You can't waste Scooble's final year with a team that looks like this. That's just meh. I mean, the thing that I did not mind not trading Scooble for a while, because they were looking like they were going to contend. Right, last year you get this amazing run, and that's what it is. And all of a sudden you're a team that's in first place. You're still before the trade deadline, and if you lose Scooble after all this run, so be it. You got 3 years in the postseason out of them. You weren't wasting time. This has the makings of wasting time, because you didn't do enough. You could have been better. Next year, do they get? I mean, a couple of these young guys come up from the minors. Do they get?
How can you not?
Yeah, you got to.
At some point.
But at some point, you also have to go out and get a proven. You got to get a couple different things: a proven bullpen, another proven bullpen arm, and another proven starter. Not just a reclamation project.
But has Scott Harris shown you that he's going to do that? That's the thing. And it's like, is Scott Harris and Brad Holmes kind of the same guy? They're loyal. They're inside guys. They want their guys to grow from the inside of the organization. And it's like with Brad Holmes, it's like Zadarius Smith, 1 year, $9 million. You just don't. I mean, he's a good locker room guy. Yeah. Marcus Davenport, you're sitting there. We're going to mortgage everything with Marcus Davenport. It's just, it goes for both of our organizations that we love with a passion. At least I do.
Well, we're going to get into all that through these 747 hot takes that were submitted today. It should be good. I'm just going to warn a few people. There are some that we will not get to, and it has nothing to do with you. We're just going to try and manage this on the fly. So
I'm sure the audience loves being warned.
I don't like that. Yeah,
they probably love that.
If we had more time, I would just start the show over at this point. Yeah, we just can't do that. All right, let's. Are you ready? You want to dig into these?
Why not?
All right.
Eric Schultz up first. Number one, huge gutty win. Reminded me of some of the early D'Antonio wins. Statistically outplayed, but found a way to get it done. And 2, give Childs credit. Dude's a gamer. Made some plays not a lot of guys can make. And 3, the identity of a Jonathan Smith-run program is starting to take shape. Got to get after the quarterback on D and get better at pass protection before we can truly expect greatness. But for the first time, it looks like we're seeing the makings of a real foundation.
The Childs thing, the way people feel about Childs is the biggest takeaway from this. I think this has a chance to be a real turning point. And, again, he's got to duplicate it. He's got to come back and make the right decisions and make big plays and continue to be a gamer, so to speak. I mean, a couple of those runs were incredible. Those are things that you just you saw it last night with Lamar Jackson. Like, certain guys can do things that change who you can be offensively and get you out of trouble that you won't be. I mean, I sometimes give Childs some grief for his eyes dropping down when the coverage breaks down in front of him too early. But one of the reasons that happens
this guy knows ball.
Is he knows that he can do that stuff. He knows that he can get out of the trouble, and sometimes the best way out of trouble is that. It's a little bit of a balance. It was the decisions he made late. It was the accuracy late. It was the deep ball was there. I thought the second half from him was the best we've seen and by a bit, and so now he's just got to build on it.
The Danimal next. I still don't know if this MSU football team goes 5-7 or 9-3, but man, that win felt so good. Much needed for the mental well-being of the program and fan base. I know we didn't give up a second-half touchdown, but our secondary and lack of pass rush will likely be what limits our success this year.
Yeah, well, let's see on the secondary when they get completely healthy, if they do. And I actually think they're okay in the secondary to some degree. I think it's the inability to get the quarterback. I don't think there are many secondaries that look good if you don't have pressure on the quarterback.
If you're not getting to the quarterback, you got to help your cornerbacks.
Yeah, I'm a little more wait and see on that. They got to find a way to get to the quarterback, and and obviously there's a trade-off there if you're blitzing and doing other things. But
did Eric Schultz take too much away from that win? It was a great win against Boston College, but foundation and a great I just didn't take that away. I was really happy with Childs, but like I said, the concerning thing with the defense not getting to the quarterback, I wasn't walking away from that going this is a Jonathan Smith program. But maybe I'll get there this season, but I'm not there yet.
Foundational wins don't mean knocking off LSU all the time. What foundational wins mean, it's a game that was needed, that they got done, that they looked impressive in a lot of different facets. I thought, the coaching staff, we were talking about second halves. What is this team's second half record? Wasn't very good last year. Wasn't very good. Didn't play well against Western, and that was a second half that was much more impressive, right? And so they showed that it's the quarterback play. There were a lot of questions about. They answered a lot of questions in a lot of ways, a lot of areas there was legitimate doubt, and there are some other areas like the pass rush where there's good reason for legitimate doubt, where there's even more reason for legitimate doubt, and they didn't. But they answered a lot of things, and primarily they answered them positively, and they won the game. I mean, that's what it comes down to. You didn't
cover the spread, but we start at winning the game.
You want your DNA to be a team that finishes those games and makes the plays in the big moments.
Dang it, Bobby. 23 next. Number one, as D'Antonio liked to say, that was a program win. It will pay dividends this season. 2, Childs deserves tons of credit for being clutch. Excuse me. His play in crunch time was impressive. And 3, the cheesy gordita crunch will forever be king at Taco Bell.
Mm.
What's in a gordita?
I don't even know.
I would just get those 12-pack of tacos.
Yeah, Burrito Supreme.
Burritos. Yeah, Burrito Supreme.
Burrito Supreme at 3 a.m. with a little, it's a good choice.
Let's have some scent here. Let's eat a Burrito Supreme on the air.
Yeah, nah.
No? All right.
I don't. The program win, it did have there were those games where you walked in and go, that was a program win. And part of what also makes a program win is when you've been struggling, having a moment, right? And this was a moment. That's all I got.
Oh, shit,
Sorry.
my bad.
Yeah.
Oh, and Jonathan Smith and company need to just let Aiden Childs and receiver room carry them sometimes. Feels like they get fancy trying to protect Childs from turnovers. Well, yeah. You don't want them to turn over the ball.
They do need to use Nick Marsh earlier, more often. Now, that was a game where the time of possession also was heavily, I think it was like almost 19 to 11 or 18 something, nearly 12 in the first half for Boston College. The defense could not get off the field. And so part of it was the offense didn't have as many opportunities early on. But again, you have Nick Marsh, use Nick Marsh, and lean on Nick Marsh.
Was that one of your hot takes?
It was in one of my quick takes, yeah.
I thought that was obvious. Spartan.
Most of what I write is pretty obvious.
Oh, no, that's not true. Don't be so hard on yourself, man. Spartan, number 1, Aiden Childs is the Mateen Cleaves on turf. Unquestionably, the leader of this MSU team. Charisma and talent that is electrifying on and off the field. Childs is not afraid to be the man of the moment. And 2, Sharon Moore is on borrowed time, and his fate is determined by an inexperienced 18-year-old quarterback. When you pay a kid $12 million, you have no other option than to start him, no matter how he plays throughout this season. Sharon is the Timu version of Brady Hoke.
The Sharon Moore storyline will be interesting to watch if this season.
That he'll be the guy that took the fall.
If this is a struggle, they'll be real quick. You know, you got Pat Fitzgerald out there.
Dude, you're telling me they'd fire Moore and hire Fitzgerald?
I would.
I know you would.
I would fire a lot of people and hire Pat Fitzgerald.
You also would go home tonight and watch a Hallmark movie instead of the Monday Night Football game. That doesn't mean it's a move.
I can do both.
No.
One talk,
Big Fitzgerald guy. Wow.
I like Fitzgerald. Yeah, I think Fitzgerald would be really good.
Michigan.
I think he'd be really good at Michigan.
Wow.
I think he would be. I think he'd be really good anywhere. But I think how he takes the fall, what this season looks like. Now, I also don't think Michigan looked very good. Like, offensively, I don't know what that is. And their offensive line, which is supposed to be his specialty, doesn't look very good. So, again, this is, year 2 for him? To be fair to him, he deserves quite a bit more time. I just don't know if they're going to be fair.
How much time? In today's NCAA college football, you don't have much time.
Well, I would ask you this. If you're planning to play a season with a freshman quarterback, you have to bake in 4 losses. And I don't think fans of Michigan...
Not if I'm a donor.
Well, then you're just going to fire...
I got time for that
coach.
shit. You better coach him up and make sure he plays right.
You'd fire...
If you want my $2 million donation...
Well, that's a problem. That's a donor problem.
Rube Hios.
Yeah, Rube Hios. Jesus.
Around the bushes.
You got that. So a year from now, if they don't let him get sophomore Bryce Underwood, then
But why is it fair to him? Who gives a shit? Get out of here. Give the new coach.
But how do you know if he's not the guy? If you're starting a freshman quarterback, now there may be evidence. It wind up being a disaster this year, but. Short of that, if this is an 8-4 season where they're limited by not being as good as they need to be somewhere else, they don't have great receivers. They have.
But how's the locker room? Like, does he still hold the locker room? Then
I don't know.
I could. No, I know. I'm just saying, as a conversation piece, if he holds the locker room and players love him, I give him another year, right? But if he loses that locker room, loses the fan base, the donor base, then I guess you got to move on.
They also just lost only one game on the road at Oklahoma. It's just not that. I mean, it didn't look good. It was sort of like the Lions. The Lions in Michigan.
This is a hot take show, sir. So I mean, we have to be hot. I mean,
it's sort of
if
like
we're not firing someone. What are we doing?
It's sort of like the Lions, though. But I mean, it was not. It did not feel as close.
I don't want to talk about the Lions.
It did not feel as close. It did not feel as competitive.
I'm not talking about Michigan.
As even the final score. So
I'm like Izzo.
We'll
not talking about the Lions. David S. Number 1, MSU needed this game to solidify a path to 6+ wins. And 2, going into halftime with a pair of timeouts as it looked like they wanted to score was the most confusing set of events these past 14 games under Smith.
I think they might have done differently if they knew they were getting the ball to start the second half. And
then you come out firing.
Yeah.
With 2 big passes.
I do wonder if they had to do it again if they would have taken one more shot. Yeah.
It just looked like you were scared, is all. Jake, best take. Bill O'Brien exposed Rossi Saturday night. I had terrible flashbacks to Scotty Hazelton's bend but don't break defense. And Baked, officiating crews from the same conference as your opponent neutralizes the home field advantage you have.
I I didn't really. I didn't think the officiating was all that favorable one way or the other.
Yeah, but college refs are ass, though. I mean, it's just a given.
I don't think Rossi was. I mean, I think Bill O'Brien's really good. I don't think Rossi has the horses to say he's been exposed. Like I think it's
how many horses does he need though?
Well, he needs one guy coming off the edge, who can do something for you to start.
How much is one of those?
They gave up 6 points in the second half. It wasn't too bad. Bill O'Brien was impressive. That offense was impressive. We'll see. Rossi's a pretty proven coordinator. I think exposing Rossi is different than exposing Rossi's defense in a particular year based on talent. I thought, obviously Boston College got the better of them most of the night, but they were okay-ish in the second half. It was improved, sort of. It wasn't that bad.
Ralph E. next. Number 1, MSU's defense made adjustments prior to final drive to tie. Boston College had less than 90 yards in the second half. Rossi is better than some think. And 2, do you think grind week will continue after Izzo retires? And 3, how was it making the transition from Spartan fan to writing about your old favorite team?
I don't think grind week continues after Izzo. I mean, that's very much an Izzo thing. It's his program. He's been around there as long as any of those guys that come back because they were his guys, and even before that, he was an assistant. So unless it wound up being somebody with fierce ties to the program in a similar way or to some degree, I don't think it continues. Transition from being a Spartan fan as a kid to writing about these guys, it wasn't really a transition because it didn't go from one to the other, right? I was, if I had gone from at 22 years old, gotten this job, would have been a disaster. Some might argue it's already been a disaster, but it would have been a disaster for a lot of reasons, that being one of them. It just, I was away for 14 years, and by the time I came back, all that stuff had long been out of the system. So, there were moments like the first time the guy you watched when you were 15 years old, Tom Izzo, calls you upset with you, and you got to sort of stick up for yourself.
And you sound like you're 15.
Oh, Tom. No, it takes a minute. You have to catch your breath and go, all right, this is life now. But you stick up for yourself because you feel good about what you wrote, or and frankly,
has Izzo ever called you like a stupid ass or anything? Or
much worse than that.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Fuckface. Worse than fuckface.
That's pretty personal. Not quite.
It
there.
is fuckface.
I mean, he's used the F word, but he's never described me as that personally. Even though that would be more accurate than some of his complaints with me. I mean, sometimes I've been wearing a muskox flannel. I've been like, Tom, you can't say that today. I'm wearing a muskox. I don't actually look like that. Closet. Yeah, no, Tom. The one thing I love about covering Izzo is that he is, how he feels, and he does not hold grudges. Like he gets it off his chest. You talk it out. Next day, it's great at practice. I wish more coaches were like that. A lot of coaches let things linger when they're upset with you. Izzo does not. He does not threaten access. He does not. He lets you know when
your laptop away.
And sometimes he's mad at you and he hasn't even read your column, which is I'm trying to get with Tom to be the new rule. He has to read the column.
It's like me with Los.
Yeah, there you go.
I never read his column,
and you're still mad.
Yeah,
there you go.
Just by the headline, I can tell. Can Chu force MSU to punt at your own peril? And can you imagine MSU had won that game on a last-second safety? That would have been wild. Last-second safety to end the game.
They could win this. They could win a game this year on a safety the way Ryan Eckley is punting right now. I mean, every punt he kicks, right? I keep thinking that's down to the 2. That's just, you sort of take it for granted. He is incredible.
It's got to be awesome to be like an awesome punter. Like you don't have to really get mixed up in all the stuff. People love you.
Ball on the string like that. Yeah, right. Yeah,
drop it down there, walk off doing that dance and shit.
Pretty remarkable. I mean, Bryce Behringer was
frat parties. It'd be awesome.
Bryce Behringer was amazing. I have never seen anybody that I've covered as good as Ryan Eckley's been the first couple weeks here.
MZA next. MSU's defense isn't better compared to last year, and that should be unacceptable. Giles and the offense will have their ups and downs, but there is a marked improvement from last year. They'll finish 6-6 or 7-5.
The thing about this win that was important is they're going to play the whole season. I think they have a chance to play on the right side of 500, which just makes the season. There's a lot less angst. Like you can do the math now. Even if things don't go well,
don't do math.
Well, say they win next week, which they will, and then they lose both games at USC and at Nebraska. And then they beat UCLA, who's not very good at home. They'll be 4-2 at the midpoint. And, you still have, if that happens, you still have Maryland at the end of the year. Iowa doesn't look amazing right now, certainly. Michigan looks like at home that should be a game that you got a real shot in. We'll see what Indiana is. I don't know if Indiana is amazing this year. Like, Minnesota's been okay. Like, you can't tell me they're not going to win one game somewhere else, or they should win one game somewhere else. And so I just think by winning this game, you play the season above 500, and maybe a lot above 500. Maybe this will be their thing. Maybe they will win close games. Maybe that'll be part of the DNA of this team. And the fun thing, I think, for MSU fans this year, there are flaws to this team. The defense is going to drive you nuts at times, I think. However, there's enough offensively, and there's enough there that you're going to have you might be in every single game you play the rest of the way. Now, there may be a week that's a dud. USC looks like they could be really good. That could be a real problem for Michigan State's defense. They're going to have to keep up. Penn State may be just a level that's too high when they come into Spartan Stadium, but they still have to come into Spartan Stadium. I don't think Michigan's going to blow out MSU. I don't think Michigan's offense is going to blow out anybody. I think Michigan State's going to be, Indiana is okay. I'm not saying Indiana's a bad team. I'm just saying Michigan State's a decent enough team and has enough going for it on the offensive end. They're going to be in every one of these games, I think, late. And that's, if they make good decisions late, they'll win a few of them.
Nestle's Quick Hotel next. The win over BC was a relief because this MSU team still has room to improve. The Spartans' defense and the Lions' defense is that twin Spider-Man pointing meme. The angst around the Lions is rooted in the fear that the window has closed and won't open for another 30 years.
It's funny. I was watching the Lions yesterday. Of course,
it was funny. It was hilarious.
After the Alcaraz Center match, of course.
You waited till it was over to flip over?
I wasn't paying as much attention as I would have. The tennis is where, that's a rivalry that takes precedent now. I make my choices. But it is easier when you have Xfinity to just flip back and forth than it is if you've got to sign into one streaming service or flip over to something else.
Does Xfinity know you use just one TV? I think that they would want you to be like me that uses three, if you want to watch something.
Well, I bring out a second TV sometimes. My wife gave away our third TV, by the way. Just total shit. Didn't even ask. Last year, I went to go get the third TV for the final week of the Premier League season. I wanted to watch 3 games at once, and I was like, "What happened to the third TV?" She's like, "Oh, she gave it to a friend."
We traded for the cat. You guys actually own Spot now?
We don't own
Traded
Spot
for a TV.
She gave it to a friend of hers. I was like,
I'd go get that fucker back. I'd walk in their house, unplug it, and just take it underneath my arm.
The worst part is TVs are $12 now. They're even cheaper than this Dell that I'm using today, and
you can get a 55-inch for $150.
Correct, but the friend that she gave it to isn't like somebody who's suffering financially. They could have bought themselves a TV.
So she was doing it for just to spite you.
No, she just said, "Why do we need 3 TVs?"
Because the Sinner Alcaraz match is on a football Sunday.
Lots of
answer
reasons.
number 1.
Yeah, at some point I will purchase a 3 TV, and I will give it to her for her birthday.
Will not. Will you ask her before you purchase, or will you just
no?
purchase?
I'll just do it. I don't
believe you.
I don't need to ask to buy a third TV. I can just do it.
I don't believe it. I don't. Do it. Go after the show. Go buy a TV and then send us.
I got to buy a new laptop first. That's the first purchase.
That's actually a discussion because those are like $1,000.
Yeah, that's that's not.
You actually have to have that.
Not great. Yeah.
I like how you're offended by that though. She gave away a TV without you knowing, and you're that I implied that you would have to ask to buy a third TV.
That is a story almost worth telling, but told anyway. Presented by our friends at Midtown Brewing Company in downtown Lansing. An awesome place for trivia on Tuesday nights for a date night. To swing by after work in downtown Lansing. You'll love the menu. Their chef does a great job there. Lighter foods, comfort foods. There's something for everybody on the menu, and also great drink selection, including the American Stout, my absolute favorite beer. Sit at that bar with a muskox flannel and American Stout, nothing makes you feel like more of a man.
Isn't your mother-in-law a divorce attorney too?
She's retired. She no longer has her license.
She knows people though.
Probably.
She could have you taken out. Yeah. Nestle's Quick Hotel next. The win over BC was a relief because this MSU team still has room to improve. The Spartans' defense and the Lions' defense is that. I read that. Thank you for stopping me.
Sorry, I was trying to figure it out.
No, you should let me do that.
It's on a PC. I can't figure out what's going on. I can barely read it.
I heard that. Professor, double whatever Nick Marsh is making so he doesn't end up in the SEC next season. And baked. I love pizza, but if it has so many toppings that they all fall off after your first bite, it ruins the experience.
Yeah, you can overdo it. You have to. If you're going to do too many toppings, you got to do another layer of cheese on top, so it keeps the toppings together.
Sounds like a pro. That guy knows ball and pizza.
I make a few pizzas. Yeah.
That goes for any of these other food items, though. Like you see those like burgers that you're like, how does someone bite into that? Right? Like you're at those giant chicken sandwiches with all the fixins on the top of them. It's like, why do you can't even put your mouth around that?
I have definitely had burgers where I've looked at them and go, how is this fun? Like, this is too much.
Yeah. And going down, all of a sudden, you're going to be shitting your pants. This is not fun. Money bag. Number 1, Childs on the offense are everything we hope they could be, besides some occasional frustrating moments from the O-line. And 2, not going after a difference-making pass rusher in the portal, even though every fan knew we needed one, is going to continue to frustrate us all season. It kills the secondary and is the biggest reason our ceiling is 7-8 wins instead of a 2021 type season. Not getting to the quarterback, it's got to be one of the most frustrating things as a football fan when you're watching your team, right?
So it'll be an interesting question if this winds up being an enormous issue, and it feels like it could be. Because in this rev share era, when you've got to, put together, frankly, the most expensive positions, like in the NFL, in college football, are a dominating pass rusher. Those guys aren't just in the portal, right? Now, there are probably guys, though, who are good pass rushers at mid-majors who could be had. And so I'm not saying they did as well as they could here. I certainly don't necessarily believe that. If it becomes, though, an issue that really debilitates and hurts their season, it's a question in terms of resource allocation, whether that should have been more of a priority.
Can donors sit there and offer like a grand for a sack? Like if I was Jim Hios and like could I just pay $1,000? Tell the players, you guys get a sack, I give you $1,000.
I love that.
Is that legal?
I love that Jim Hios is like here. It's like Matt Ishbia, Jim Hios.
Pound the bushes.
He's a legend. Big John Hogg. Concessions at Spartan Stadium were better. Still no souvenir cups, which is frustrating. Secondary is going to be a big issue. No amount of Sparty Mike sunshine blowing can spin it any other way. Most listless Lions performance in years. And hope that's not a trend. You need a melting moment sponsorship. He's like me. He's like me. He just fires off everything.
Yeah, these weren't even. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't know why these came in looking the way they did, but I appreciate all your takes here. Just what's on your mind.
We give them free sponsorship, pretty much. Melting moments.
Yeah, we do. They don't need to pay us for what they're.
Yeah.
I don't. Again, I don't know if the secondary is going to be as much of an issue. I think most secondaries look like shit when you can't get to the quarterback, and I think that is
how much better were the concessions?
I've heard.
Like I said, what I was reading against Western was
I've heard quite a bit. The lines were shorter. I'm not saying they were perfect, but I think they were better staffed and more equipped for what they needed.
Made popcorn to start.
I got so many emails the first week relative to this week, and then the ones I got this week, there were quite a few that said it was better. There were still a few complaints here and there, but it was nothing like last week.
Polish Sparty's morning crew next. If they didn't figure out the stadium volume, MSU is going to need to install tampon dispensers in Spartan Stadium for everyone's bleeding ears. The new sound system's volume is significantly worse than it was the last couple of years.
That's not good. Yeah, people have complained the last couple of years. Again, we're behind this glass that's like bulletproof. It's like being the president or something. They just don't.
But you've been down in that area.
Do
you not go down at all?
Not during the game. No, I don't hear any of this. I don't.
They don't play any music before the game if you go say hi to someone, like you don't know.
It's not usually. I'm not down there long enough. Yeah, no, yeah, no. It's. But this is becoming a pretty regular complaint.
David Cox next. Does the Detroit News Connor Eargood still think Nick Marsh isn't an NFL player? Dude is going to be a top 10 pick. Was at the game and can't understand why he isn't targeted 15 times a game.
Okay, I think this has become a just sort of one of those folk lore things because I cannot find Connor Eargood ever saying on Ebling's show that he does not think Nick Marsh is an NFL player.
Crushed tape?
I crushed tape. I listened to 2 Connor Eargood, Jack Ebling The only two
Why?
interviews.
You could have texted "You're good" and just said,
I just
"Hey,
want
man." Like, right?
Because correct, we were going to have him on, and we were going to ask him about this. But I
like,
wanted
I don't know what
to
you're
make
talking
sure he said it, and this is why I did it, because I don't think he said it. The conversation at one point, Ebling sort of says, after Connor says something, says most people think he's like a top, but Connor doesn't say anything like that. I don't think it's actually said. I would challenge anybody to find the moment. Like, I listened back a couple times, like, where is he saying Nick Marsh isn't?
But I'm
an
saying
NFL
you could have
player?
called him and just said, like, to get him on, hey, we'd like to have you on the show. And then if he said, I never said that, then yeah, I guess we could still have him on, make something up, right?
But then do we
Or
have
make
to have
fun
him
of
on the
it.
show? I mean, it would
it
have
would have been funnier if he had no idea what the hell you were talking about, and then it was just this
I wanted to check it out. I mean,
radio silence. No, I'm saying instead of having to put yourself through listening to Ebling's, like, the two interviews, you could have just
I
called
could
him,
have.
you know?
I could have wanted to do my due diligence. Yeah. No, we at some point we'll
Because
have
calling
time.
someone isn't due diligence.
I'm sure he's heard from it, but he's heard about it from people. At some point
So we
we'll
should have
him
him on and then make it sound even worse. Like you said, Nick Marsh is terrible. You want to take that back?
Yeah, I do not think he ever said it.
Oh, man. Gundy. Next. I think BC's passing offense is the best that MSU will face all season. And two, Bill O'Brien and Lonergan are legit.
There's a chance they are. I'm curious to see how it plays out for them, how this whole
Isn't
season
that what you
plays out.
say when your team, though, doesn't get a sack and a guy named Lonergan torches you?
So
I don't know. That's going to be a great offense all year.
That's why I bring up 2019 Indiana, because you left that game with Kalen DeBoer, who nobody knew who he really was back then, and Michael Penix, who was a redshirt freshman, and you're like, wow, those guys look really good. I wonder if they're any good. Now Michael, one's the head coach at Alabama, and one's been in a national championship game with Washington. The other's a starting quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. So,
but was there a play that Lonergan had that wowed you? That you were like,
there was a lot of good touch. Yeah, and there was a lot. It was the quick pass. It was some of it was the offense. They were the passing was quick. Like, I do not think that's a team that's going to be sacked that often just because of the way they play. Doesn't mean Michigan State's pass rush is adequate. I'm just saying the offense is impressive.
Parker Weiss next. That's a MSU win we'll look back on as a massive turning point in the Jonathan Smith era. This team is bought in. You cannot win that game if you aren't bought in. Down 7.5, plenty of mistakes, and BC answering each time. Cue the Campbell grit drop, Rube. Taking fucking requests now.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
Yeah. Only play that after wins.
Yes, another great week.
Yeah.
We'll see if it's a turning point. It was definitely because Iowa felt like a moment a little bit last year, but this was a game that would have been a bigger loss than it is win almost. It was a big win though. It was a big win. The way they won it, to win it in overtime, and vibes are important, man. When you're trying to turn around a football program and you're trying to get a fan base that's been beaten down and a program that's been beaten down, winning matters. Vibes are important, and the way they did it, it wasn't like Boston College just shit all over their leg. Michigan State had to go win the game, and they did.
Scotty Green's El Camino. Couch, you sandbagging son of a bitch. Acting like we were screwed at kicker. There's no way people didn't know Connington wasn't good.
Even today, on Monday,
you sandbagging?
Jonathan Smith said, he didn't know exactly what was going to happen with those two field goals. And, obviously they recruited him. He's their scholarship kicker by choice for a reason. They knew he was talented. He's the guy on scholarship who's kicking. So, it checks out. But, you don't know until you see somebody kick in pressure situations. Those were two really important field goals in the second half. They don't win the game without both of them.
Kermit the Spartan next. Childs needs to dial back his caution just a bit. It seems as if he's overthrowing receivers out of an excess of caution. And bonus, college refs can suck a fart fresh from my ass. It's a little wordy for a shirt, but I think that would be good.
We can make it work. Yeah, we can get it on there. Yeah. Ugh.
Are you thinking about someone sucking a fart out of an ass?
It's just awful. It's a really bad picture. It's the worst picture. Yeah.
Oh, are we done?
Yeah.
Mr. W, hot take. Childs announced himself as one of the best quarterbacks in the conference. Hasn't seen a single game highlight reel like that since K9. I think this offense can win us a game we're not supposed to win. And bonus, Michigan will win 6 or 7 games because their schedule is a joke. But they are a bad team and a poorly coached team. The fan base is going to implode as they realize that they were frauds all along, and it's going to be very satisfying to watch.
I don't think Michigan fans will correlate this team with the championship teams or the window they've had is they may realize this team isn't very good, but I don't think they'll say, ergo, frauds all along. I just can't see that being the reaction.
BPA, apart from Jordan Hall, MSU might have the slowest sideline-to-sideline defense in 15 years, but Childs is also the most fun Spartan to watch in 15 years.
Whoa, over Kenneth Walker. He is, like, a couple of those runs, Childs can be an electrifying player. And, it was funny. We had the Sam Leavitt-Childs discussion last week a little bit, and Leavitt is still, I think, a phenomenal quarterback and would be my choice. But you see what they loved about Childs. And I would say this for, like, Michigan folks who are getting frustrated with Bryce Underwood. He is a really young player. You play a freshman quarterback, you're asking for 3-4 losses automatically. It just takes time at that position. It takes time in the NFL. If you only played a season or two at college ball, it often doesn't work out. Even great quarterbacks outside of Trevor Lawrence, very few of them are good as freshmen. And for Childs, he last year was his first year starting. He was, a young player, 18 years old, still 19 now. Like, it takes a minute, and maybe the light has come on. Now, if he throws, 3 picks at USC and it doesn't look like this, we'll have a different conversation. But this was a big moment for him.
Sparty Barb next. Number one, I'm not an expert, but I think it might be our advantage to get the ball to Nick Marsh. 2, our punter belongs in the Hall of Fame. Graham belongs in the whole. This is not Sparty Barbs, dude. Number 2 is not Sparty Barbs.
I think it is. I don't think I screwed this up.
Yeah, you did. Our punter belongs in the Hall of Fame. Graham belongs in the hole of shame. Read it.
It doesn't sound like her.
It's not Sparty Barb, dude. 3, our pass rush. It does nothing. Dude, she's not gonna.
You know what it is? That's Hans. This is the problem with a fucking PC. Okay, like you try to copy and paste, it doesn't always copy. Sometimes you paste the previous one. There may be 4 or 5 of these. I don't even know. I mean, I just
out of all people to mix Sparty Barb's takes with.
If this was not a work laptop, because I am going to get a new laptop today, I think I would just throw it because it's just a useless machine. I just can't even believe
throw it over the table.
It's just useless.
Drop it.
Useless. Sorry, Sparty Barb. Yours are in the ether somewhere. I apologize. Lost to being confused with Hans.
Graham belongs in the hole of shame. That sounds like her. Are you got any comments there? Or are you just going to throw that laptop?
I feel bad for Sparty Barb.
The Adam Bernardo of Southern Maine next. Baked. After an MSU win, I think everything Graham writes is brilliant, and he deserves a Pulitzer. After a loss, I think he should return to Freeport and cover Orangeville JV sports. And best take, MSU doesn't win that game with Sam Leavitt playing quarterback.
That is a hot take. I don't know if that's the case, but
it is.
Yeah, I did enjoy my time in Freeport and Orangeville. My first big feature was on Orangeville football, by the way, 25 miles north of Freeport. Yeah, Toby Golembeski was the coach. Yeah,
name dropper.
Yeah,
how's he doing?
I don't know, but he I think he's well.
Steven Izzo next. 2 hot takes. Number 1, MSU football. Great win, but playing offensive linemen in different positions hurt us often when we could have put the game away. Too many holds. I've never seen football offensive linemen play different positions unless injury induced. Why? And 2, the Lions' interior offensive line exposed. Not re-signing Zietler and letting Ergstand walk to get Morton as OC will be the biggest mistakes this offseason that will haunt us all year.
Love that we've got Steven Izzo putting in hot takes. This is actually an email, so I think this is him, by the way.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh.
The Lions' interior offensive line is
screwed.
Are they screwed?
Yeah.
Or yeah.
You're going to have to make some sort of move. I mean, like I said, we got to wait until the Bears game, but Glasgow we've known that he's been on a downward decline, and to go into a season with a guy like that, I don't know. There's got to be some sort of center option that we could do.
It's not easy to find these guys. Teams aren't.
I know. The center position is a really important position. I understand that. But you have to try to make some sort of move and then pray and hope it works.
And if you're the Lions, what you have to remember is this is your window, right? And I know they want to extend the window. So what you have to do is that means you may have to give up a draft pick to trade to a bad team that has a decent center to get that center. Yeah, you have to.
Are
do
we
that
willing
stuff.
to do that? That's the question. Is because we are going to be drafting hopefully late in a first round. So getting rid of a first round to get a player. I mean, look at all the teams that win championships, Super Bowls. They all make a move like that. Not every move is going to be this surefire. Is he going to fit in the locker room? Like, you can cut these guys. Get rid of them if they don't fit in the locker room. I think we're just trying so hard to have our guys, and these are our guys, and we're going to win with these guys. That's fucking great in college football in 1997. You could do that kind of thing. Not in today's NFL. You have to make some sort of moves and hurt people's feelings. It's the way it is. Munfield Keg. I did my best Jason impression on Saturday and said out loud, Munfield tailgating is back. Thank you, J-Bat. Bake Take. For the love of God, we need to find some upgraded portal defenders next year. The staff has proven they can identify offensive players. Now find the Omari Kelly of defense.
And they've had some good defensive play. Like, I think Joshua Eaton is a good player. They've had some guys on defense. They just haven't had that edge guy, right? I'm still curious about this defense. I'm not completely out on them. I think the pass rush is a total issue, but I think that there are some other places where they have some strengths. And I think a guy like Jordan Hall, one of the things that's interesting to watch with him is he is figuring, like he's 15 tackles, right? He also had the boneheaded, and you can say it was a bad call, but he had the play where it was the late hit that continued that drive for Boston College, and he had a couple plays where he overran something, but he was really good mostly. And he is figuring out how to be a difference-making playmaker at the same time being the lead communicator. And it's a lot. And I think he's only going to get better and better at it.
Jebediah, the Lions and Tigers simultaneously going FAFO. And that means fuck around and find out for your non-acronym knowing asses. By obsessing over your own players is honestly too perfect. Put your nuts on the effing table and get some difference makers and win an MFing title. And bonus, it's ironic Childs almost got swayed to go to USC because he's going to need to be Caleb Williams the rest of the year to overcome this Alex Grinch-esque defense. Nonetheless, impressive showing from him and excited to see the positive steps he takes.
This next part, I don't know what happened. You see that next? Oh, never mind. It's a totally different take.
Oh.
Apologize. The spacing's missing because it's a PC and something went wrong. I think that's the frustration right now with the Lions and the Tigers is there's just it looks like the same thing. Now the Lions have been where the Tigers have not. The Lions were probably should have gone to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. The Lions won 15 games last year, and other than injuries, were pretty dominant. So they're coming from different places to some degree. But it is true that it feels like they're not willing to capitalize on a moment, right? And they're trying to play the long game. And if either of them wins a World Series or a Super Bowl, then all is good. Then that's the right move. That's all you got to do. It just doesn't feel like they're doing all it takes.
It's just making a small move. We're not talking for a blockbuster Micah Parsons level trade. It's just getting some guys that you can bring in to kind of fill these gaps at positions that we can obviously see.
I would argue a center is more important. Micah Parsons will be hurt by week 4. Like this is football. Like you don't spend that kind of money on Micah Parsons. The odds that he's going to be around one single player is absolutely ridiculous.
He did look good yesterday.
He did.
Would be excited. Yeah. Tyler. Don't want to overreact, but some Sunday was a day you wish sports didn't exist. I did say that to myself yesterday.
I was entertained. I was, until the Lions was not great. But,
there was other good games on, but the Lions game ruined everything else. So, I just wonder what sometimes when I watch the White Sox
so I
beat the Tigers and the Lions lose, I go, why do I watch this shit?
I came away with a different take on the Lions than
do tell.
I can't
wait for this one.
I thought it was a situation where you'd rather lose that way than some other ways. Am I wrong? No.
What other ways could you? What are you talking about?
You'd rather it not be a heartbreaker.
That was a heartbreaker.
Oh, because
I've been waiting 6 months for fucking football to come back. I'm wearing a jersey like an asshole in my living room, and they play like shit. They don't show up. How could it get any worse than that?
You are an asshole if you're wearing a jersey.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I like wearing my jersey. I like my jersey. It's not like I go face paint. I'm not face paint guy. Can you imagine being face paint guy and then you're sitting in the with face paint on at Lambeau with a Lions shit on and we play like that? You got to walk out of the stadium with everybody pointing at you?
Have you ever put face paint on just in your living room?
No. Fuck no. Never.
Okay.
Police Chief of Flavortown next. For the first time since Campbell has been here, the entire team looked lifeless. like no one was enjoying the game of football. We all scoffed at it, but I think losing Johnson could derail the whole offense.
I think the offensive line's the bigger issue.
Yeah.
And you have a.
Why didn't Ben take that offensive line with him? I leave Sewell, but
yeah,
let's see him tonight.
I think
see old Benny boy how that goes.
So
Can't really root either way though.
So if the Bears look phenomenal offensively, will it make it worse?
Then I'm gonna hammer the Lions money line even more.
Okay,
next Sunday.
Yeah, there you go.
10-0 ATS after a loss. G.E. Miller, Brad Holmes overpaying for expendable guys like J-Mo while neglecting both lines showed yesterday. You can't rebuild both lines mid-flight when you've blown your cap space. And the new coordinators were outclassed. The window is closed. This team peaked in 2023. That was the chance. And baked. Whether it's Tigers fans begging for pitchers at the deadline or Spartan fans pleading for a portal pass rusher or Lions fans asking for D-line and secondary help, why is it that fans seem to be more in touch with team needs than team leadership itself? Maybe they should listen. Or Tom Izzo going after a big in the portal. Why does every team I have to root for not want to add guys and grab people?
Not give what people know they need.
Just tell us to be patient, and we got to sit through losing streaks and shit.
Well, I want to do the first part here, the J-Mo new contract. What did you think of that?
I thought it was heavy, and I don't know why we have to do it now.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I know the guy is a difference maker, but... And then you overpay Barnes, too. No one was going to pay Barnes that much money, the linebacker. You know what I mean? I can't blame Holmes for wanting to keep J-Mo, a guy that, it's his guy. I get that. But it just seems for what he's done so far and with some of the things that he's gotten involved with, it's like, man.
They didn't pay him top receiver dollar, though. They paid him a lot.
Still $20-something million a year for an $83 million for
Hold
three.
On. Let's see what the top receiver money is right now. Hold on. Give me some off.
I mean, what? Amon-Ra, 30.
I am the passenger.
That's crazy.
And I ride and I ride. I ride through the city's backside.
All right, so this is why I think they did it. They were scared if he has a breakout year. So Jamar Chase making $40 million, Justin Jefferson $35, CeeDee Lamb $34.
Is he number one money guy? Well, that's Amon-Ra St. Brown. You saw that catch yesterday. That's the guy that gets that money, is Amon-Ra St. Brown with that catch.
So what's he making now? 23, you said?
24, something 24. Like that.
So they're about 13.
It might end up looking like a good deal. I'm just saying as of right now, as we sit, like G.E. Miller just stated, it's like you had other things you had to attend to here. And to give a guy that's had some problems with PEDs and gambling on off the field too is just – anyway. Lions reply guy. Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes have earned so much benefit of the doubt that I honestly think they could go 0-16 this year and win 2 games the following year before the conversation even started. To think Carlos Monarez wrote a headline stating a playoff loss would put them on the hot seat is not defensible.
It's not defensible.
That should be the name of his column. Not defensible.
Or indefensible. Yeah.
Yeah. What's that word?
One of the two. That'd be a great indefensible.
Los. Imagine if they go over the season and Los was right. I still wouldn't apologize. Fuck that dude. PA number 1, Carlos Monarez taking up the mantle of intentional rage bait columnist at the Freep as soon as the late Drew Sharp passed away, as if it was a formal position, has been the most bizarre occurrences in Detroit sports media, per discussion last episode. Wait, was Drew Sharp that bad?
No, Drew was different. Because Drew, I mean, he knew how to antagonize, but he...
And I don't mind that. I don't mind antagonizing, trying to get the vibe,
I used to always try and tell people there's a difference between Drew Sharp and Rob Parker. Like, Drew Sharp, he believes what he writes. Sometimes he'll, poke the bear a little much. But you might hate some of the stuff he wrote, but you read it anyway, and Rob Parker was like, just get that guy out of town. It's so bad I can't read it. And you don't want to be the latter. And so that's a hard to be the columnist that antagonizes people, but people still want to read and have to read is a real skill. And Drew Sharp had that skill, and it's not easy to replace.
You basically just need to have an opinion. Like if Rob Parker believed some of the shit he was saying, I would, it wouldn't be for me, but I can understand. What are you supposed to do if that's your real opinion? That's all I ask for. Is that's how you really feel? Or
all you've got is dumb opinions, then you shouldn't be a columnist.
Are you telling Los that or me? Or are you talking to me?
Questioning my own life.
Oh. All right. I'm just saying. I mean, I know Carlos is a great guy.
He is a great guy.
Tim next. It would be fascinating to hear Los defend some of these articles. Not saying you have to be a dick to him, but he has to at least have the awareness that all Lions fans hate him because we think he's playing a character for clicks. I want to hear him defend his position with conviction.
So part of the reason this show exists is that the higher-ups at Gannett don't really know it exists.
Do they know his columns exist?
They do.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is
they could probably understand why we'd have a question or two.
And look, we're having this whole discussion about a guy who works for the same company I do. And
but so what?
Well, you remember when we first started about this, we came up with the nickname Low so we wouldn't be identified, number one. And then, although lots of people call him that. But then secondly,
what are we scared of?
But early on, I was like, hey, man, we can't really talk about him. But now he's had.
But he's the one writing this.
Correct. Now he's had so many columns. It's sort of like the Michael Bolton line from.
He's been doing this forever.
Michael Bolton line from Office Space. Why should I change my name when he's the one who sucks? Right. It's like, and eventually I just stopped. I said, you say what you need to say because I can't. They're indefensible sometimes. So again, we're probably not going to have him on only because I like him personally, and I don't want to ruffle feathers.
You can like him personally. I'm not telling us that we have to go march to his house and rip him out of his house.
My point is this: if we had him on and it ruffled the wrong feathers, that would not be great for us. Is all I'm saying. So that's why I don't want to do it.
All right,
that's all I'm saying.
But would he defend his columns? That's what I'm
sure
saying.
He would.
I would like to hear. He can go on his own podcast and do it if he wants, and we can listen. Can we listen to it that way? Right? I think people would be interested to know if he's actually defending these or he's just firing it out and never looks at any comments or he doesn't, He had a column on Chase Richardson at the NCAA tournament, and he usually doesn't do college basketball. Mm-hmm. And couldn't help himself, though.
Well, they sent him there to cover Michigan, and Michigan had lost, so Michigan State and Michigan were at the same space, and I've never seen Winder was so mad at him for the column.
Wait.
And it's good for the LSJ. When the freak does things that make them look like irrational asses,
that's the taint.
We get more subscriptions, so it's good for the LSJ.
Is that what Sean said to Los?
That's the taint.
That's the taint. Matty B. Scott Harris should take note of today. When you have a juggernaut, you go for it. Because this Lions game was ass. It made it worse when you stood pat while Green Bay got better, but let him cook or something. That's what I mean. What are we doing?
Yeah, I think
trust Brad Holmes. I think it's not about that.
I think the Lions and Tigers are in different places a little bit. I'm not saying the Tigers didn't need to go for it more, and I'm saying the Lions, though, are truly in their moment. You know what I mean? The Tigers, we can debate how close the roster is, and based on their record, they probably should have done more. 100%, I agree. The Lions were a blown second half from being in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. The Lions were 15-2 last year. This is their moment, and the Lions have chosen to build with a quarterback who is not an elite quarterback. So by doing that, you have to have a good roster. You have a window because of that, and that's okay. It's hard to get the very elite guy. But if it does not work with Jared Goff, the lesson to me, when's the last time a team won a Super Bowl without an elite quarterback? The lesson to me, if the window goes by because you just can't quite get it. Goff was awful in that playoff game. Wasn't great in the second half against the 49ers. If you can't get it done with a Goff, then the next time you rebuild, if this doesn't happen for the Lions, you have to keep trying to get a top 5 guy, and that becomes your only focus until you do it, because this way of doing it takes so much luck to have it go right for you. That's my concern, is that it's so hard to do it when you don't have an elite guy. You have to have everything right around him.
Miserable sports fan next. MSU fixing some of the blown coverages and the offense playing like that. This team could win 8+ games. It starts with USC. And Bake Take, if Childs is that electric for a full season, we may be looking for a starting quarterback next year. Also, oatmeal cream pies in the freezer. Trust it.
Mm.
How long do you have to let them sit, though? You can't just eat them right out.
Well, yeah, you can even freeze them. Well, you just put them near the front of the freezer, not the back.
It's like a melting moment. So they tell you to wait 5 minutes, and then you stare. You're like, that's got to have been 5 minutes. It's only been 30
That's
seconds.
the worst, isn't it? It's you stare at something.
I do it every single time.
It's awful. Yeah. To the first point there, or the second point of Childs in the NFL for him, like there are some things like that's taking a big jump. Now, obviously, the NFL wants an electrifying player, but I think he's going to have to show some accuracy that he hasn't shown consistently, and so that's a step. And if he becomes that player, then MSU may be a team that's on the verge of the playoff. I just, let's see it more than 1 second half there.
MCV, while the defense deserves heat, they did hold BC to 6 points in the second half. If MSU had sustained that last drive and kicked a game-winning field goal, the narrative around the defense would be different.
I know what you're saying, like, because they really had a chance there. I
just
still
not getting to the quarterback though. 0 sacks.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
I mean, come on.
They were better in the second half. There's no doubt. The whole team was better in the second half, and the defense included. And they're going to face a USC team that looks pretty potent offensively, and a Nebraska team with a sophomore, a little bit seasoned quarterback, second-year starter. On the road, like we'll see what it looks like. We're going to continue to find out whether this defense is adequate.
Luke Bunge next, Bungie. Accurate quarterbacks are going to slice up MSU's defense if they can't figure out a pass rush. Biggest ceiling for the team. And bonus, Big Ten and SEC should set up an annual Big Ten ACC-like challenge for football. Games decided by last year's finishing position. What fan wouldn't want this?
It would be fun. Like the fifth place team plays the fifth place team, number 1 all the way down. I would 100% be in for that. That would be amazing.
Ethan Charbella, MSU has got to stop the quarterback run this week. Youngstown quarterback going for 264 and 4 TDs on the ground is a bit of an eyebrow raiser. And bonus, I'm not sure Izzo has ever looked more excited in a recruiting photo than this one with Josiah Jervis.
I did see the photo. He does look happy.
He's a bull in a china closet.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think there's a lot. If people ask about how long Izzo is going to do this, and I don't know, but I think there's a lot about the job he still likes, and there are parts of it he can't stand. But I think having a blue chipper on campus that you've got a real shot at is something that never really gets old. It's like.
But what would he do? Like we talk about this retirement thing, but like,
that's part of it too. I think
health would have to come into play.
I think he likes being Tom Izzo.
Right. And who wouldn't?
And I think he's been fairly reinvigorated.
Well, during the season, you don't want to be Izzo, but
I think he likes that part of it too. I think he likes a lot of it still. And the parts that he doesn't like, or increasingly doesn't like, still haven't ruined his program from being the sort of program he wants. I think that's where that's where I would have a question if he would do this prematurely. I think as long as he feels good and he doesn't feel like the parts of his game that he doesn't love are ruining his program, I think he'll continue to coach.
Are we going to have a Youngstown State writer on? Is there a Youngstown?
I don't know if we'll do that this week. We'll probably do somebody else. That seems a bit. We may still have
I don't know. After just hearing that,
we may have
quarterback here
430 hot takes so they get to Wednesday.
That's true.
That we'll have to do.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do that Wednesday. Forget it. Scott, this MSU game felt like 2007 when MSU beat Pitt in D'Antonio's first season. Win over a power conference team and something to build off and keep the energy level in the right direction.
Yeah, that feels about the right size program, and the difference is that was the first year of D'Antonio, right? And granted, it had been a rough stretch under John L. Smith, so people were looking for something. This had been a harder stretch. The end of the Mel Tucker era and the first year of John L. Smith, this was a tougher stretch on people, on the program. This was as needed as anything that I can remember in a little while. This was probably as needed. Well, now I'm overstating it, but I just remember when they beat Iowa the year they won the Rose Bowl on the road that October 5th. It was like this. There'd been that Notre Dame game that was sort of a disastrous finish, and it felt like they were just going to let this defense. It wasn't going to happen for them, and even though they had this great defense, they weren't going to maximize it. And they go there and they look like a team that can really do something. The offense came alive, and there was this. It was just needed. That moment was so needed. Very different scenarios, different teams, But this felt almost that needed, and it was no small game.
Bill McLeod next. For crying out loud, Coach Mikhail Zick, after this week's scrimmage, figure out who the 5 best offensive linemen are and play them together.
I think, and Jonathan Smith said it in his presser today, they're going to continue to rotate the offensive line this week, which makes sense if you're trying to still figure it out. By the time they get to USC, I would expect less of it, because I do think it hurt them at times, the timing of some of the rotations on the offensive line, and they had guys who had a good stretch and then were out, and it wasn't as good. And I don't think it's a recipe that works all season. That said, you want guys who are capable of playing and ready if there's an injury and stuff like that, and I get all that, and if there's not a lot of separation, it's difficult, but they need to figure out a unit.
Zach next. When asked some BC staffers at Crunchies after the game if they are just good or our D is porous, their immediate response was porous. This defensive performance was a fireable offense.
Whoa. So BC staffers at Crunchies after the game, if they are good or the D is porous, and they said porous. So that's,
are they all wearing their gear?
Impossible. So, well, there you go. If that's the way it is, and that's coming from Zach at Crunchies in the BC.
Sounds legit.
Yeah. The thing is, they usually, I can't imagine they were like the BC staffers should have been on a flight. That's my only problem with this. Just knowing the way football teams work, they usually don't stick around.
Challenging his story
for a to go to Crunchies. That's all I'm saying. That would be my only
bullshit.
I'm just. Maybe they have a whole different way than most of college football at BC, but that would be my concern.
Alex Mayer, number 1, I was wrong last week. The offensive line is definitely not a top half of the conference unit. And 2, sitting near the MSU bench, the player leadership is very apparent with this group. And 3, baked. Ryan Eckley should just legally change his name to Ray Guy at this point.
Early on, he's won the award.
That'd be kind of weird.
Well, it's the Ray Guy Award. That's why. It's I
know.
Yeah.
Change his name to Ray Guy.
That's a good sign if you're hearing chatter from the MSU bench. It's a good sign.
Pat Caverly. Maybe Sparty should contact the Lions for advice on getting to the QB. Perhaps not. Get it? Take USC's team total over in 2 weeks. No, I don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to just sort of have something to couch your feelings a little bit, and just in case, that would USC wouldn't be the worst play in the world. MSU's going to have to score points to win that game for sure.
Is that right?
Thanks,
Mike A. next. First, great MSU win. Stressful, exciting, and necessary. Second, why does MSU still run those slow developing 4th and 1 plays to a back 8 yards behind the line of scrimmage? Tragic. And bonus. Superstitiously, we do push-ups plus sit-ups of updated points totals following each score, and I can't remember being so sore. Only Groovy Donuts can fight this pain. Love it. Go green.
It's probably good for your fitness, though, to do push-ups and sit-ups after every score. And it's 42-40.
It's all you, bro.
Yeah, well, or you just put on a muskox flannel, and you don't need the push-ups and sit-ups.
Much easier.
Yeah, you just look like a modern man fit for the world and looking like your very best self. I mean, I lose 3 chins when I put this on. So if you're somebody like me who has 7 of them, a muskox flannel can help you out there. It is that time of year. We're getting these cool nights. It was in the 30s last night. It is muskox weather, and nothing makes you feel better at a football game, at a backyard, fire or whatever. You don't want to set your backyard on fire. I'm just saying if you have like a little fire, so you roast marshmallows or sit around, it's perfect. A muskox flannel. GoMuskox.com is the site, and for $15 off your flannel purchase, use the promo code Peacock at GoMuskox.com.
Peacock.
Jay Riemenschneider didn't expect Michigan to win, but Oklahoma could have won by 20. Michigan's highly touted quarterback is new, but there's got to be more to that offense. Maybe they are protecting him as the best they know how, or maybe they just aren't good coaches. Hopefully I'm wrong, but this looks like another 7-5 or 8-4 season at absolute best.
Yeah, I mean, their schedule is favorable to a point.
I'm not talking about Michigan.
But and so I don't think they're going to be worse than like 7-5, 8-4. But the idea that they're going to get to like 10 wins and be in contention for the playoff, I just don't see it based on what we saw from Michigan. And it's not just that they're playing a young quarterback. I think that it makes it very hard to do and to have consistency there. I don't think they're that good at wideout. I think their offensive line isn't that great right now, and those are things that just are hard to overcome through the course of the year. I still think their defense is pretty good.
TC Brunzi next. It seems like Michigan gets out-coached when faced with teams of similar talent. Moore and company don't provide much confidence. Michigan's offensive line is below average in the Big Ten. Bryce Underwood may be a long work in progress, given the coaching and poor offensive line, and could be looking for a portal change.
Guy's making a lot of money. I don't know if the portal is where you want. I mean, the other thing that's going to get interesting is that whatever he's making, 10, 12 million, whatever he's making came in before the House settlement. And there are going to be lots of workarounds for that, and there may be federal legislation that changes some stuff. But it might not be as easy next year to get that sort of contract through at a school. I don't know that I don't know that that's going to be. That's a really big number, and to argue that that's legitimate NIL to any degree is that's a huge number. And maybe as a quarterback at the University of Michigan, you can make that argument, or you can make that argument if you wanted to transfer. I'd be very surprised. Given the money and given that he only went there for the money, if he left.
Mike DeShelter next. College refs are ass. MSU got hosed on 4 to 5 critical plays. In bonus, has the Lions Super Bowl window been closed or passed? I don't fucking know.
It's depressing.
I know. It's like 1 week, dude. Like, what are you talking about?
Well, yeah. I mean,
it was terrible yesterday. What are we talking about?
But it's a fair. It's
not fair.
It's a nervy question. It's a nervy.
I don't know. You don't need it. You could have left that out.
Well, I mean,
that's on you. That's on Graham. Sorry.
Okay. Sorry, Mike.
Yeah, I'm not blaming Mike. That's on Graham. Kurt Wisniewski, Spartans, good, not great win. Still need a pass rush. And the Lions, 6-11 season. Hey, Brad, do you now understand why you needed a compliment to Hutchinson?
I still like the over, and in fact, if you can get a season adjusted over for them, I don't know what it is. I've looked at it, but I mean, if you can probably get an over 9.5 right now today, and I bet I would like that. I would like that. It was only 10.5 going into the season, and people are down.
But you think it'd be down at 9.5?
Or maybe it's 10 flat, whatever it is. I think that's still good. The idea that you get your money back, they go 10-7. Then I bet you can get it. I bet you it's lower than 10.5 now for sure.
Spartan Dog 97. If the Lions don't win next week against Chicago, they should shut it down and tank for Nussmeier. If they play like they did yesterday against Chicago, yeah, this will be a fun show. It actually won't be fun. It'll be fun for other people, not me. Kevin from Rochester Hills. Ryan Eckley is MSU's best player, and the Lions will be lucky to win 8 games, and SOL is back. SOL is back. Same old Lions for you acronym.
Yeah.
Assholes.
We got it. Thanks, Kevin.
Josh Inwood, what the hell did we watch Sunday with the Lions, and how the hell did we get Frank Ragnow back?
Well, it starts by giving him a call. And if you want a new mobile plan, you can do that at Xfinity.com. It's the same coverage area as Verizon, but for a better price. They have great deals on Wi-Fi as well. You can get no contracts, and unlimited mobile line. Included for a year for as little as $55 a month. Go to Xfinity.com. You'll see the offer right there. You hit shop offer, boom, and you get yourself set up with a new phone. You can give Frank Ragnow a call with your very first call on your new phone from Xfinity Mobile.
Should send him some Muskox flannels, too.
Yeah.
And beg. BPA, Sunday made me feel like the Lions had a beautiful 2-year window to win a title, blew it, and now the rest of the league has caught up to us. I mean, yeah, that felt that way yesterday.
It did. Next week's a big week. Big game. Big 1 o'clock Sunday game.
It did.
Yeah.
It sucked. It felt that way. Vanzi, underrated reason for the Lions' slow start. Not playing the starters any in the preseason.
I do think this is logical in the sense that a number of teams start slow. Now, the Packers did not start as slow, so you can say that. But NFL, you've heard it from NFL coaches these days. They say the first 4 weeks is trying to find your footing. Now, you can't go 0-4. And that the other teams are in the same boat, and you look worse than the other teams. But the Lions,
but to look that way though,
the Lions have deserved a mulligan. They deserve a mulligan. They just
do. They
week 2 has to look a lot better.
Matt C. Number 1, Lions have been very good, but no one can convince me that they aren't cursed. Blowing that lead in the NFC Championship, best team of our lifetime. Getting decimated by injuries. Ragnow retirement when we needed him 1 more year, and 2. Happy about the MSU win. I hope they can build on it, but I still see way too many similarities in the first John Smith era. Terrible defense, bad penalties at inopportune times, and struggling to beat average teams. We'll see what they truly are versus USC and baked. The Lions have $43 million in cap space. They should have offered Ragnow $30 million for 1 year.
Or get creative, right? He just had another kid, wanted to spend time with his family. Name a wing of the building after Ragnow's kid. Like, do something. Try and convince him to come back for a year.
I feel like money wasn't the like, there would have been some sort of monetary, right? It wasn't that. Ragnow wanted to quit.
Do they have a daycare program on site? I don't.
That's not the reason why, though, right? It was injuries.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
And you don't fault guys. Guys know that they're going to live a tough life later on for the pain it's the timing of it hurt. That's all. That's
all right. Austin Wolf. MSU being 3-0 going to USC as a confident group should be as good of a start as this program has had since 2021. And bonus, go Pack go. Lions held to 46 yards rushing and interior offensive line looked lost. Packers are for real. Who gives a fuck? Why'd you leave this one in?
Apologies. Sorry, Austin.
Yeah, fuck you, Austin. John Johnson. The Big Ten and SEC should adopt the NFL-type scheduling instead of locking games in so far in advance. 1 verse 1, 2 verse 2, 3 verse 3, etc. I know the numbers don't line up exactly, but fuck the bottom two teams. They can play each other as an extra Big Ten game.
Two of you with the same idea. Maybe I just copied the same one twice, but I think this is just
Party Barb.
Yeah, it's just possible. No, again, I love the idea. I think it would be a fun series set up by the previous year.
PZ, of all the positions to have a Rolls Royce level player at, you probably wouldn't pick a punter. But it's cool that MSU has a Rolls Royce of a punter anyways. And bonus, the Lions not retaining Zietler was almost as big of a loss as Ragnow. Window looking awfully narrow right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not a good offensive line. You're right. They got to do something. And
it's one game.
Yeah. Well,
let's see. But this Bears game. Let me see it.
Okay.
I need to see it.
Okay.
I got to crush tape.
Let's do
watch the game.
Let's do two more and then jump down to our friend Upper Deck Jerk Guy, and then we'll.
Cool. That makes it easy for me. Yeah. Barty Bartakamus. I get the desire to establish the run, but MSU offensive coordinator Brian Lindgren needs to understand that it works both ways. An effective passing game opens up the run game. Childs and the receiver group are the most talented part of MSU's team. There's no reason to have less than 40 pass attempts per game.
Yeah, I mean, you got to take advantage of what you have. And look, establishing the run is important. That's going to make it changes everything for Aiden Childs when teams are scared of the play. The play action works so much better. You want to run the football. I do believe D'Antonio was right about his record when they ran the ball 40 or more times. But your most elite player right now, your best position group is your receivers. And so you also have to make sure those guys are featured. And you can do it all at once. And the first half was not enough use of Marsh.
David Jackson, having two players with the same number on a football team is ridiculous. Ignoring walk-ons, apparently. There's only 85 guys on scholarship. There are over 90 available numbers after deducting retired numbers. Let's be serious. Starters on offense and defense both wearing number 5. This never happened back in the day.
Did not? I think it did. Before they used to have 120 guys on the roster.
Wasn't there 2 number 1s like Michigan State?
I think this has happened forever. I mean, I do think this has been a thing.
I mean, David will make sure he will tell you.
But check the 80s, David, because there were like 120
challenging
guys.
David Jackson is crazy because I think that this guy knows everything.
Wow,
encyclopedia, this guy. Who am I?
Upper Deck Jerk Guy.
Upper Deck Jerk Guy. All right, Upper Deck Jerk Guy. This team is giving me hope, and I don't like it. And bonus, we need more sandwiches made out of donuts instead of bread.
Here, here. I would eat more. You've seen me eat a burger that was a groovy donut. What was that? A fritter.
Yeah.
It's
scary.
You want to see me have an orgasm? That was the moment. The picture you took, it's pretty rough. It's not great. It's not great. I mean, it's not one that I would want out there in the public eye. But we appreciate all of you, and we will Wednesday make time to do the rest of these hot takes because there's some really good ones in here. Apologies for those that we did not get into. We're gonna have to revamp some things for our Monday show to make this work. We appreciate our friends at Xfinity. Go to Xfinity.com, be it mobile, be it Wi-Fi, be it cable. They've got it all there. Shop the offer you want. Bundle things. It makes sense. It probably makes more sense than what you have. We appreciate Midtown Brewing Company and, of course, our friends at Muskox Quality Flannels. Go Muskox.com. Peacock for $15 off your flannel purchase. Good show, man.
Yeah, man.
We'll talk to you Wednesday. Couch Brew.